El Chapo's wife reveals how he was. Many people assumed that El Chapo, the infamous leader of Mexico's Sinaloa cartel, was sneaky. Despite their age difference, the drug lord was once a dashing older guy with whom Emma, one of his younger wives, was willing to get connected. Joaquin Arturo Guzman, also known as El Chapo, is the most notorious drug cartel leader currently alive. He was responsible for more drug imports into the United States than anyone else, oversaw multiple murders, and got an estimated 100 times out of jail by paying bribes. Unfortunately for Emma, he was captured in 2016 and is currently serving his sentence in a Colorado maximum security jail. Former American teen beauty pageant winner Emma Modesta Coronel Ashpuro. As the wife of Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, Mexico's most sought drug kingpin before his life sentence, she has gained notoriety. But first, let's look at Emma's history, shall we? San Francisco, California, is where Emma Coronel Ashpuro entered the world on July 2, 1989. This little girl was Inez and Bianca's offspring. Even though he worked as a cattle rancher, her father was a major player in the Sinaloa cartel. Yeah, you read that correctly. Emma's dad used to report to El Chapo. When Emma was born in 1989, El Chapo was already a well-known criminal. He is 32 years her senior, having been born in 1957. El Chapo actually has children who are older than Emma. Since the birth of his first child, Alejandria, in 1983, El Chapo has been steadily climbing the criminal hierarchy through murder, eventually becoming head of the notorious Sinaloa cartel in 1989. However, Emma was not the sort to be astonished by such a way of living. Her father was involved in the drug trade, and her uncle, Ignacio Coronel Villarreal, was one of Mexico's most notorious cartel criminals. Emma was brought up in a dual universe where, on the one hand, there were bad boys from the cartel and, on the other, there were high school, beauty pageants, and the affluence of California. Emma's first encounter with El Chapo was after she won the coffee and guava beauty competition. Emma and El Chapo's connection has always seemed questionable on the surface. Emma admitted that she had no idea what her husband did for a living when they married. As a first point, it should be noted that Emma's immediate family members were heavily involved in the Sinaloa cartel. For another, El Chapo was already a notorious criminal. In 1993, he was arrested in Guatemala on charges of murder and drug trafficking. He was sentenced to 20 years in prison and deported to Mexico, but in 2001, he was able to bribe his way out of jail. Coronel traveled to Lancaster, California's Antelope Valley Hospital in the summer of 2011 to give birth to her twin daughters. The U.S. Department of State had a $5 million reward for Guzman's capture. Still, his name was not included on the birth certificates to avoid tarnishing the legitimacy of the documents. It's unlikely that Emma didn't know what her husband had done, yet she lied to the press. A lot has happened in Emma's life over the years that have contributed to her swift ascent to importance, without delving into too much detail about her already a problematic relationship with El Chapo. Emma amassed over 500,000 fan base in the years that followed. Evidently relishing the spotlight, she decided to capitalize on her newfound popularity. She planned to introduce her own collection of El Chapo-inspired garments. She made headlines as a gorgeous New Yorker who had many wondering where she got her money, in addition to being El Chapo's devoted wife. The answer, of course, is obvious. Journalist Annabel Hernandez claims that Emma's difficulty in being understood is merely a product of her unique personality. What she says about El Chapo is not as simple as it seems because of how difficult she is to read. After El Chapo's arrest in 2016, Emma was asked to pen a profile for the Los Angeles Times. In a subsequent statement, she vowed to stand behind her partner no matter what. In February of 2021, she was arrested in the United States on charges of money laundering, conspiracy to import and distribute drugs illegally, and conducting business with a foreign drug trafficker designated as a kingpin under the United States Comprehensive Drug Abuse Prevention and Control Act. In November 2021, she pleaded guilty and admitted her involvement with the Sinaloa cartel. She was sentenced to 3 years in prison, had $1.5 million taken from her, and will be under close watch for an additional 4 years after she is released. Please click the like and subscribe buttons so I can make more films like this. Bye.